What if Darth Vader raised Luke Skywalker? Let's explore the depths of this scenario in the video. Obi-Wan sits quietly aboard the supply freighter taking him to Tatooine. In his arms is Luke Skywalker. The son of the Chosen One snores softly, enjoying the sounds of the humming engines above them. It's a long trip, so Obi-Wan is grateful for the peace, but he still cannot shake off the weight of his assignment, though none of that compares to the destiny of the boy. In his arms is perhaps the galaxy's last hope for peace after Anakin plunged it into tyranny. He knows it's a lot to put on a child, but Obi-Wan can think of no other way. As they prepare to make their jump to hyperspace, klaxons begin to blare from above as the ship is rocked by an explosion. A crewman informs Obi-Wan to strap in as someone is attacking them. The pilots try to shake off the attacker, but the nimble starfighter is flying circles around them, slowly disabling their engines before it lands in their hangar. Suddenly, screams echo from outside as a lightsaber cuts through the crewman. Obi-Wan hands Luke to the pilot as he ignites his lightsaber, preparing himself for what's to come. He tries to block out the screams and takes a few deep breaths. Then, the whole ship goes silent. Obi-Wan stares at the door until a lightsaber thrusts through it and begins cutting its way past the security door. His mind races, trying to figure out how Vader found them. Little did he know that Palpatine had learned of Bail Organa's visit to the Jedi Temple from Commander Appo and sent spy droids to follow him. He heard everything about Anakin's children and how they planned to hide them. Palpatine made sure that this information got to Vader so he could confront them, at least the information about Luke. The pilot screams and Luke begins crying just as the door gives way and Darth Vader emerges from the shadows. He holds up one hand and points at Obi-Wan.
"You have something that belongs to me."
Obi-Wan doesn't respond. Instead, he uses the Force to shove Vader out of the cockpit and sends the door flying after him. The Dark Lord effortlessly slices it apart as Obi-Wan rushes to confront him. All around him, the Jedi Master sees the broken bodies of the crewmen and shakes his head.
"You truly are lost, Anakin."
The corridor soon fills with the sharp hiss of clashing lightsabers. The blue of Obi-Wan's blade meets the crimson of Vader's with a furious intensity, each strike illuminating the darkened ship. Despite the urgency of the situation, Obi-Wan manages to remain calm, blocking each attack that the Dark Lord throws at him. Vader says nothing, looking like a statue come to life as his attacks rain down without warning. His helmet gives no clues about what he might do next. Each blow is heavy and filled with an overwhelming ferocity going beyond simple rage. Obi-Wan finds himself stumbling back and forth as each attack hits him. The corridor echoes with the sounds of their battle, and the walls fill with scorch marks. Obi-Wan deflects a series of vicious blows, dodging a downward strike and countering with a swift slash at Vader's midsection. Vader blocks it effortlessly, pushing Obi-Wan back with the Force. Obi-Wan defends himself. He gives up a step, and then another, and then more. Gritting his teeth, he tries to stand his ground, blocking the next attack to stem the tide, but with a final, forceful swing, Vader knocks Obi-Wan's lightsaber from his hand. Unarmed, Obi-Wan uses the Force to hurl debris at Vader, but he bats these away and lands a glancing blow on Obi-Wan's arm, burning through his robes and causing him to cry out in pain. With a swift kick, he sends Obi-Wan sprawling to the floor. In one swift motion, Vader plunges his red blade through Obi-Wan's chest. The Jedi Master gasps, his eyes widening before his body slumps to the ground. Standing over Obi-Wan's lifeless body, Vader turns his attention to the crying infant, Luke. He takes the infant from the pilot before immediately killing the pilot to prevent any witnesses. Holding Luke in his arms, he begins to march off. Although a victory, Vader knows he's treading on dangerous ground. Palpatine knows nothing of this and will never allow Vader to keep Luke. He decides to go to the one place Palpatine won't expect him to go, Mustafar. Vader returns to the CIS headquarters and begins reprogramming some of the droids there to act as caretakers for his son until he has a permanent place to raise him. When he builds his castle, Vader soon transfers him there and begins to raise the boy as his own. Although normally cold and detached, Luke is one of the few people Vader shows any affection for. As the last remnant of his family, Vader forms a deep attachment to him. When not serving the Emperor, Vader spends most of his spare time on Mustafar raising Luke. Even from a young age, he instills in him the ideas of the dark side, giving into strong emotions like anger and passion. This makes Luke a powerful Force user and a master lightsaber duelist. However, he isn't the only one training. With the loss of Obi-Wan and Luke, the Jedi and Bail Organa realize that the only hope for the future lies with Leia. As soon as she comes of age, they begin training her. With Yoda in hiding, Ahsoka trains Leia in his place. She only appears infrequently in Leia's childhood, coming a handful of times to examine her Force abilities. But as the years go by, she begins to appear more and more, taking Leia on journeys to understand the Force and see the galaxy around them. Soon, Leia forges her own lightsaber and learns how to handle the Force. At the same time, a rebellion slowly develops against the Empire, with senators such as the Organas discreetly sending aid. To help with this, Leia joins the rebellion alongside Ahsoka, both to help the galaxy and hone her Jedi skills. The two of them take part in countless missions, freeing slaves, destroying Imperial facilities, and smuggling supplies to rebels. Throughout these missions, Leia is careful to keep her face hidden, wearing armor to conceal her identity. Eventually, she becomes skilled enough that Ahsoka and Bail allow her to handle missions on her own. During one such mission, Leia smuggles supplies to a rebel cell on a famine-struck planet. As she finishes handing off the supplies, she prepares to depart until she hears a sound in the corner. The young Jedi looks over to see a group of stormtroopers dragging an old man away. His frail form struggles weakly, while his pleading eyes dart around.
Please, I'm innocent, I swear.
The stormtroopers are relentless, smashing the butts of their rifles against his chest, causing him to double over. The commander tells him to be quiet, insisting that he is the smuggler sending supplies to the rebels.
You're looking for the smuggler. She's right here.
The stormtroopers all turn to her and raise their blasters. As they fire, she raises her lightsaber and blocks the flurry of attacks. She rushes at them and begins to cut them down in a series of quick kicks and slashes. With the old man now free, he drops to his knees and looks up at her gratefully.
Thank you, my dear. I am Snoke, a humble merchant. These Imperials arrested me on suspicion of smuggling goods to the rebels. They raided my warehouse, too, for contraband. I must check on it.
Please, allow me to escort you there.
She places her lightsaber back on her belt and follows him. The safe house is on the edge of town, and the two are careful to avoid the stormtroopers patrolling the streets, now on high alert and searching for them. Snoke leads her inside a large warehouse packed high with supplies and goods. Leia looks over some of the crates to examine their contents.
Seems like your supplies are safe.
As she inspects the goods, she fails to notice the sinister change in Snoke. Before Leia can react, a powerful surge of dark energy slams into her. She turns to see the old man standing over her, pushing his hood down to reveal the vicious smile of Emperor Palpatine. Without a word, another burst of lightning strikes her, knocking her unconscious. Palpatine carefully restrains her before reaching for the comms. He manages to reach out to Leia's master. The young Jedi's eyes widen as she sees the Emperor standing before her instead of her apprentice.
What's wrong, child? Expecting someone else? So was I. Come and face your destiny before I grow tired of your apprentice.
To prove his point, he blasts a burst of lightning towards Leia. Once he cuts the transmission, he reaches for his own holodisk and then contacts Vader.
Lord Vader, it appears I require your assistance. A pair of Jedi have set a trap for me, and I require your aid immediately. One of them appears to be your former Padawan. Come to me, my apprentice, and free me from this wretched place.
Darth Vader shuts the hologram and leans on the table, considering the opportunity before him. Luke's training was advancing well, and he is now a powerful darkside user in his own right. Together, they might stand a chance at finally overthrowing the Emperor. Hours later, Ahsoka moves silently across the warehouse, staying alert as she scans her surroundings. Leia is dangling from the ceiling, unconscious and bound by heavy chains, but there is no sign of the Emperor. Ahsoka ignites her lightsaber and cuts Leia down, catching her before she hits the ground.
Leia, wake up.
Ahsoka. Thank you.
Before Ahsoka responds, the door bursts open, and the towering figures of Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker enter. Vader's voice booms through the warehouse as he stares down Ahsoka. Even with his helmet, Ahsoka can feel his eyes burning into her.
Where is the Emperor?
I don't know. But even if I did, I would never tell you, monster.
Her memory flashes back to the video of Anakin slaughtering the crewman of that freighter so long ago and killing Obi-Wan alongside him. She ignites her lightsabers, and beside her, Leia does the same, despite her exhaustion. Vader and Luke ignite their red lightsabers and charge. The warehouse echoes with the clash of their blades as Ahsoka reaches them first, her lightsabers whirling in a barrage of blue, parrying each of Vader's attacks. The Dark Lord's powers are much stronger than before. His attacks are relentless, like a machine, showing no signs of slowing as he drives Ahsoka back. With Luke by his side, they make a dangerous pair. His movements are smooth and more agile, keeping up with Ahsoka's speed and attacking from her blind spots. She leaps back on top of a crate and tries to avoid their blows, but their attacks take their toll. While they push her back, Leia comes in from the side, reaching for a blaster in the crates and firing at Luke, but he expertly deflects her shots. When that fails, she draws her lightsaber and rushes Darth Vader. He's surprised to see the young Jedi so daring and feels a familiar spark in her. Leia bares her teeth and makes another swing, slashing at his head, but Vader moves fast and turns his attention towards her. Leia tries to use her speed to overwhelm him, throwing attack after attack at him, but the Dark Lord answers with a powerful push that sends her sprawling to the side, her lightsaber slipping from her grasp. Ahsoka sees this and pushes herself forward. She blocks a downward strike from Vader with one lightsaber, then twists to parry a stab from Luke. She strains to hold both Sith Lords back. The father and son share a glance, then launch another coordinated strike, twisting their lightsabers until Ahsoka drops her weapons. She can only watch as the two of them corner her, chest heaving as her master stares at her. Without another thought, he drives his weapon into her chest. A shriek echoes across the hall as Leia lunges forward, her blade spinning in her hand as she throws herself at the two of them. She unleashes a barrage of attacks that momentarily gives her the upper hand, but she's still weak from captivity, and Luke eventually manages to halt her attacks. As he parries her last strike, he lifts her and brings his lightsaber through her chest. As Leia drops to her knees, her eyes meet Luke's, and a strange understanding passes between them. For the first time, they realize how similar they appear. Vader sees this too, and reaches out toward her, but her body slumps over. Vader stands over the bodies of Ahsoka and Leia, while Luke drops to his knees as 100 questions run through his mind. He struggles to make sense of what just happened, and who these people were. But their grief is cut short by the sounds of cold laughter from the shadows above the warehouse.
Well done, young Skywalker. You have just slain your sister.
Vader and Luke freeze, staring down at Leia's body. The similarities in their features become much clearer. The young Sith Lord's eyes widen in fear.
Oh, don't act so surprised. Who do you think leaked that information about Luke all those years ago, Vader? Of course, I did leave some details out. You could never let go of your attachments.
Without warning, Vader and Luke turn their fury towards Palpatine. They charge at the Emperor, snarling in anger, but the Emperor unleashes a wave of force lightning that throws them against the wall. However, Luke quickly gets to his feet, blocks the next attack, and rushes to meet Palpatine. He sidesteps his first attack and counters with a slash to the Emperor's face. Vader joins him a moment later and swings his lightsaber at the other side. Palpatine ducks under both attacks, then counters with his own swings. He blocks Luke's next strike, then unleashes lightning towards Vader, who moves too slow to block and stumbles back. With Luke separated, Palpatine focuses on him. He moves with terrifying speed, blocking every attack the young Sith Lord throws at him while moving like a demon. His lightsaber seems to blur from Luke's attacks. Even dropping the supplies in the warehouse on him barely slows Palpatine down, whose speed seems superhuman, weaving through the fallen crates that Luke brings down. As he backs up to the wall, Palpatine is on him, and in a flash, pierces his chest with his lightsaber. Palpatine allows Vader a moment to absorb the sight before him, a twisted smile playing on his lips.
Your attachments led you to betray your friends. It led you to betray me. And now, it shall betray you.
Vader launches himself at Palpatine, but the Emperor is ready. He unleashes another barrage of Force lightning, searing through Vader's armor and circuits. Vader convulses, his body racked with pain as the lightning courses through him. Palpatine stands over the fallen Sith Lord, his laughter echoing through the warehouse.
You have lost, my former apprentice.
With a final, powerful blast of lightning, Palpatine sends Vader crashing to the ground. As the darkness closes in, Vader's last thoughts are of his children. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.